Welcome to Saathwic Infotech DevOps series. As part of this today's session, we are going to see about how to connect from your desktop to your remote server using SSH. Basically, we want to connect as a passwordless to your remote server as we do in our AWS or anything, right? So most of the places in the real time, whenever we work on cloud or whenever we work on our next series, right, GitHub, we are not going to explicitly type in your username or password, right? So we are going to connect everything to passwordless. Okay, so in our last SSH session, I have explained you all about like what is SSH and what are the things needs to be taken care, what are the permission settings and everything. And we have also seen a demo between connecting from Linux server to Linux server. So here we are going to see about how do we connect from local to remote server, as well as we are going to see the same scenario with AWS to understand like how does AWS provide this feature to us. Okay, because whenever you create any EC2 instance, we have not been provided with any password. We have been provided only with keys. Using keys, how are we going to connect? And also we are going to explore whatever we learn in our on-prem is same as in AWS. Okay, so as we learned in our previous session, if I connect from some source server to the remote server, always key generation has to happen from the source side. So that's true, right? So ideally in our case we have created in a DevOps account where we try to connect to Oracle account. So the same way, right now we are going to generate the key from our Windows server. So in Windows, basically SSH comes as default from Windows 10, I guess. Even before, I am not sure about it. So if SSH setup was not there, probably you need to install your SSH server on Windows too. So once if it's there, if you type SSH-keygen, okay, it's going to generate the same way as it was doing in Linux server also. It's going to create an .ssh directory under your user. My username is like a hi. So okay, it says created directory. It's asking me to enter the passphrase where I'm not going to enter anything. So the same way. Okay, now looks like the keys are created. So cd.ssh dir. So where I can see like id rsa id underscore rsa dot public key. So let us go to the directory. This pc c colon users I dot ssh. Okay, basically the file without any extension. If it's a file, it's a private key. Where it says pub, it's a public key. Let us open this out. Okay, so now I have a public key. Let me copy this public key. As I am going to connect to the remote server. Okay, let me connect and show you again. Yes. So whenever I connect from local, it's asked me the password. So I'm going to enter the password to connect. Okay, so our objective is to going forward it should not ask me any password. So let me go to Oracle account SSH folder. So we have an authorized key file. So as part of our last session, we have copied our DevOps account key here, right? So now we need to copy our Windows keys to this location. Okay, I'm just verifying whether it's all in single line. Yes. Okay, great. Now once after doing this step, you should be able to connect to Oracle server without any password from your local. So now I'm going to connect to Oracle. You see, right? Now it didn't ask me any password, nothing. It directly allowed me to log in. Okay, great. So let us see how it works in AWS also. So let me open my AWS console. Okay, I am in my AWS console. Okay, I will whenever we are going to look at AWS series, I am going to explain you in detail about like okay how to create a free account, how to launch instances and everything. Okay, this is just for a demo to understand how it has been the passwordless connectivity has been done in AWS. So that's the main intention. Okay, let me create a new instance by creating the launch instance, right? So let me give some sample server name. Okay, DevOps training, or maybe I will give like SSH training. Okay, so this is a OS type which I am going to use. Let me prefer to use 2AMI free tier eligible. Okay, T2 micro is nothing but my CPU type. Okay, see here it says like key pair name. Usually Without key pair, you cannot connect. It says, right, you can use key pair to securely connect your instance. Ensure you have access to the selected key pair. So right now, I have one key pair, but let me create a new key pair for yourself. So it's asked me, right? Okay, it says SSH key pair. I am selecting RSA as my type. Either I can select like PEM or PPK. That doesn't make much differences. I will explain you what is the exact difference later point of time. Right now we will try to generate a key. Okay, the key has been generated and it got downloaded to your local. Okay, so other things I am not going to do anything. Let me launch the instance. It may take like 1 or 2 minutes. How easy is, right? So you can launch any instances in AWS in a minutes of time. But the main thing here is that, okay, the understanding behind the scene, how it works. So that's where like I want you guys to explore how are we doing everything in the local, so that you guys understand the reality behind the scene. Okay, so it says it's in pending status. Yeah, it came in running status, right? So now we have created an EC2. So this is our server name. Okay, this is our IP address. Let me copy this IP address. Let me go to mobile xterm. Okay, let me create a new session, SSH. So this is my public IP. Username will be always EC2-user. That's for AWS default one. So in the same advanced settings, I will go and use private key the same way I did. So let me go to download. You have a key here, right? SSH key. So this is the key which we created during the server creation. Open. Let's give OK. It says accept. Here you go. So if you look at now, even with AWS, I didn't given any password. It allowed me to log in. So as now let's think, or let's rethink like whatever we learned so far. So if I want to enable any passwordless connectivity, there should be a sequence of steps needs to be followed. The first thing, you need to generate a key pair for yourself. Okay, whoever the source, in our case always our local desktop is our source, so we need to generate a key pair for your source. Okay, so what we did in AWS, we generated a key pair. So what is there within the key pair? Key pair will have only your private key and a public key. Okay, private key is nothing but which got downloaded to your local. Okay, for example, if you go to my downloads, you see, right, this PEM file is nothing but your private key. So that got downloaded to your local, and the public key associated with that got added to your EC2. Okay, if you go to the CD SSH folder, did I created any SSH folder? No. Did I created authorized key in EC2? No. But how do you see everything? You see SSH key paid. This is the public key of the key, private key which you hold on your laptop. Basically, this is a public key of this private key. Okay, so I want to explain you this concept so that you better understand. So that's the main intention of this session. So don't think that okay, everything works in like kind of a magic. No, if you understand the process, you will very well understand what's happening behind the scene. There are many things in AWS which you will understand if you have really experienced it in your local server. Okay, that's where we always do things in local server first before even go to AWS. Okay, and also with respect to your interview point of view, people will check your understanding, not how to do, because how to do is always there in internet. Okay, but your understanding, how you really take this into your mind and how do you visualize this thing, is all that has been checked in the interview. Okay guys, I think with this you understand clearly like how SSH works and everything. The same way even the GitHub connectivity will also work. Okay, if you want to enable passwordless, again you will generate the key in your local and you will add the public key in your GitHub so that it won't ask password any after that. Okay, we will see that whenever in our GitHub series starts. Maybe in a week time I am planning to start our GitHub series. Okay, meanwhile just revise whatever things we have seen so far. Also write if you feel this session is like really helpful and interesting, I would like you guys to subscribe and like my session. And if you have any queries or any improvement needs to be done, please feel free to comment in the YouTube. That really helps us to improve. Thanks a lot.